Yo, Internet, what's happening? Welcome back, and today on the 2004 to 2008 F-150 Coyote swap, we're going to go over the cross member. Now, I just pulled out this little guy here, and I'm going to give it a little scan and show you what I am thinking I'm going to have to come up with. Watched our first video in this little project. You might have remembered that I mentioned the center line of this cross member and where it lies in the frame is about 3 inches shorter than the Coyote truck that Jazz had over here. We measured off of a kind of a known point, since the suspension on those trucks is interchangeable. Went off the front welded sub cross member to the center line of this. It was 30 inches on the 08, and it was 33 on the Coyote. And Christian from Power by the Hour also verified a customer of his that swapped one of these trucks as well, had to do some cross member work. So obviously this is actually 4 inches. So if we go from center line, we're going to be out here. Originally I was thinking about making a whole cross member, but then you have your exhaust shields that bolt here and your exhaust brackets that bolt there. So I'm thinking of a simple design, a plate here to extend the back of this. Actually, this is the back. So we're gonna have to work around the exhaust and do that. I'm gonna scan it and see if I can't come up with a simple bracket to get some mounting points back here for you guys to have this swap just a little easier. Let's get to scanning. So I took my crude scan using my phone, as you saw there, to get kind of a base solid for the original transmission cross member. As you can see, filling in there, I took hard measurements too with the caliper. So I actually did a screen grab on the computer, which is a little better than the phone. As you can see, a little better view of the representation, a little cleaner than the scan. And also here, we'll show the overlay of the scan model and zoom in on where you can see the J-clip that you might have noticed in the video. So I decided to utilize those J-nuts in the back to as a mounting point, and you can see me build the first revision of the transmission mount. Then after I built it actually alongside of the solid transmission cross member, I put it on there, and you can see kind of where it all fits up. And it should be, at this point I didn't know that the exhaust bracket was going to be in the way, but we'll get to that later. All right, after a few hours or so during the day, I found to get that thing designed, as you saw, and made myself a paper template. So pending, I'm gonna buy 6R80. I like to buy a 4-wheel drive mount too, just to see if the studs are the same, but I feel like it's a pretty common, just looking at the cross members of the 09 to 14 F150s, these look the same, but you never know until you try. And it looks like the 04 to 05s have an insert in here instead of a J-nut, and looks to be in the same position. I'll probably make that a little bigger just to make sure, but that's where the exhaust hanger is usually bolted to, so I'm hoping the slots are big enough, kind of sandwich it. I gotta go double check and look at that piece to see what that looks like, whether it can be bolted, maybe this will, if hopefully that won't be in the way, or it can be sandwiched between the cross member and the mount. So that's offset a little more than three inches, because otherwise the studs encroach in this and we're basically useless. So yeah, that's my little solution pending actuality. So that's, I think, a good starting point on that. So been told 3-valve mounts work, like I said in the other video. So that's pretty cool. Let's I'm gonna go take a peek at that exhaust hanger bracket and see if it's gonna be in the way or we can sandwich it. So yeah, I want to double check the newer cross members, because I'm not sure what you're going to do with exhaust yet, but definitely can't sandwich that exhaust bracket in between here. So I might just have to, because it's going to have to lay flat and it sticks out real far, like it's ribbed and all that stuff, so it's going to have to be redesigned of sorts, but we'll just kind of go with this for now. I do think I might be able to get away having this behind it and this being sandwiched in between the exhaust bracket and making clearance here for it one way or another, or doing some creative bending. This side might be okay. I think it's this side. Maybe just omit that side and then it'll all be kosher. Then you get into the area of the studs from the relocated transmission mount getting interfering. So I'm not gonna make any metal things yet until I kind of see where everything falls into place. All right, I decided just to grab that thing off. There's only held by one hanger, so definitely gonna have to modify the design a little bit. Like I said, this side will be definitely okay. That side, definitely not. And I gotta see if this thing goes in like that or that, because gravity did its thing and it was hanging like that out of the truck. But if it's like this, perfect, because then I'll just make a flange, extend it over here, and then have a bend down there to have it be sandwiched in between the exhaust hangers. So let's go see how that thing hangs. If you ever try and find something the way it is on YouTube or anywhere else and you just can't find, well, let me show you how I figured out that these are actually down on the truck, and that all I have to do is modify that flange. So I'll update that and then show you a new piece of paper. So I don't go through a step-by-step process. If you know CAD, you know CAD. If you don't, time to learn. So as you can see, made a pretty simple modification there to have that flange go down and behind against the cross member. And just like that, we got our revised paper template, and the mount should fit under there just ever so nicely. Got some action down there. Now, hopefully your stud doesn't come too close to there. It should land somewhere in the mean there in the slot. And there's still, you can get to it with a wrench. So I think that's a success. Not too bad. All right, I went ahead and got a transmission mount from a 6R truck, 2-wheel drive, because that's what we're gonna swap it into. It'll sit in there like that, and oh, it looks a little tight. So this is the same slot as the factory ones up here. Nope, it's gonna have to be a little skinnier. So the bolt spacing is gonna be just a little narrower. No big deal, we'll change that design. No need to show you that, but I'm glad I checked. So that's the first mechanical part I've bought for the preparing for the swap. I've bought a whole bunch of the connectors that I'm gonna need. So yeah, we'll change that design and we'll be ready when we need to make a real one. All right, after looking at this thing more, I put the caliper up to here, and I'm fairly certain that's the same exact measurement, 2 3/8. But you get down here, and it looks like that stud's bent. This is what I get for going aftermarket, not Ford. Yeah, so I think that stud is definitely bent. Wonderful. So I'm gonna take the measurement at the base and double check the CAD, but yeah, I think not a huge deal. We'll adjust accordingly if we even have to. Yeah, just gotta bend that thing. So that's what you get for aftermarket. It is O'Reilly special. It does have a lifetime warranty, so if you ever tear one up, you get a free one, but it'd be a pain in the ass to squeeze that thing in there. So no big deal. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. We're not gonna make a metal one yet. I am going to keep this template around, throw the crossmember back in the truck for the time being, because we still haven't found a drivetrain. We're actually probably gonna pick one up in a couple days here. When you see this, it'll probably be a day. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna solve the crossmember difference between the 0408 and the 11 to 14, which I'm fairly certain the 09s and 09 and 10s are the same, but because of the 6R, I'm guessing they moved it back in the frame. So that's gonna be my little solution to come up with that 3-inch difference that this is gonna be short on. And I also still wanna get a 6R mount and make sure the stud spacing is the same too. In the meantime, I can do that as well. But yeah, that's another step closer to kind of building up, instead of just, yanking the motor out and doing the swap, I'm kind of just vetting on these problems beforehand, so that the downtime that the lift's taken up, because I want to pull the cab and get a drivetrain ready to put in the frame so that it can at least roll around as a whole truck and the cab isn't taking up my lift. It's the only one I got. So if you like this video, give it that thumbs up, and to continue seeing progress on this project, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.